Shaq is back. Adam Forshaw and Charlie Cresswell also returned to the side, and Leeds finally gained some much needed stability in the centre of the park for our highly anticipated crunch match against Aston Villa, with results currently not doing us any favours and a massive fixture pile-up hot on its way. 3 points are vital. Hey guys, boy JT, welcome back to another episode of South Stand Stories, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight into the meat of the action. So, Aston Villa, one of our biggest rivals as of recent times. There have been so many crunch matches, especially in the Championship. Of course, casting your mind back to that famous game where Bielsa made us give away an own goal. This is very quickly becoming one of my favourite fixtures in the entire season. But of course, the big question marks surrounding Leeds at the minute are in that number 9 role. I mean, we saw it against Newcastle the other day. Daniel James missing a plethora of chances. The guy couldn't hit a barn door if he tried. We really lack clinicality, a cutting edge, and someone who can distract defenses, someone who can create space, can create angles, and open up opportunities for other people around him. We so badly missed Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford, I was reading a stat the other day, contributed to 37.8% of Leeds' total goal output last year. And when you look at that, and when you put that into perspective with the fact that he's only featured in 24% of Leeds' available minutes this campaign, he's only featured in 6 games this season, then it really starts to add a whole new perspective on Leeds' campaign thus far. Losing those kind of numbers, losing that kind of important spearhead figure at the top of the pitch is extremely detrimental. So now you look at where we are in the table and it starts to give you a different perspective on things. There are also reports emerging that RAPHINHA is not going to be fit in time for that clash against Villa tomorrow. So we are going to have to rely very heavily on Dan James and Jack Harrison to create something from the wings. However, that leaves a gaping hole in that number 9 role, and there are only 2 men that can fill it. Is it going to be Rodrigo Moreno, or is it going to be Joffrey Gerrards? Now, the aforementioned youngster has had a fine version campaign in the Premier League, scoring 1 goal and getting 3 assists in just 311 minutes. Now, you compare that to Dan James, who played up front against Newcastle, who has got the same 4 goal contributions, but instead coming in 1,347 minutes. Now, I know a lot of people have been getting on Bielsa's back for not giving Joe Gerrards enough game time. Now, look, I do have a slightly varying perspective on this. I don't think he's 100% ready to fill in every single game. I think there are certain games where Dan James offers a little bit more on the break. I think there are certain times when Joe Gerrards' touch lets him down a little bit. There's some times where his movement is not Bamford-esque. Bamford has a very unique way of finding space in the box, of creating space for others, and that's why he gets so many chances. Yes, in the Championship he was wasteful with a lot of them, but if you actually look at his movement and the runs he's making into the box to create space for himself, to open up angles, that's why he was having so many opportunities in the first place. And it's better that a striker's getting opportunities and that he's missing them than him not getting any at all. And sometimes that is the case with Joe Gerrards. However, the guy is pure quality, and he's a better finisher than Dan James, and he's been more prolific than Rodrigo Moreno this year. I think for me, he has to start up front tomorrow. With Patrick Bamford's return nowhere near in sight, Joe Gerrards does have to start. I mean, look at his last assist against Burnley in that 3-1 victory. Dan James ironically scoring the header, but the ball in by Joe Gerrards was pure quality. That guy has a dynamite of a left foot. Even his right foot's very good, but that left foot of Joe Gerrards is absolutely something to behold. It is magisterial at times, and I think he could really do a number over Villa tomorrow. Of course, like I said, Adam Forshaw also returns to the side. We have missed him so much. We have missed him and Calvin Phillips in the middle of the park. I think for me, Robin Koch has to be in that centre-half position with Virgil van Strijk, in my opinion. And look, Adam Forshaw sitting in front of there just gives us so much more stability. Yes, Robin Koch was doing a fine job in the centre of the park. However, he doesn't quite have that radar on him that a Forshaw offers. He also is lacking in that centre-half position. I feel like when we had Llorente and Struijk there, we didn't have quite as much certainty as when I've seen Koch partner up with Struijk, or even the ability to go 3 at the back, which could change things up. Villa wouldn't be really expecting us to go 3 at the back because we haven't done it so much this campaign, especially after losing Phillips and losing Forshaw. But if we go 3 at the back tomorrow with Forshaw sat just in front of them, I mean, hey, we could be on for our first clean sheet in a long time. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Who is your preferred starting defense? Would you go with Llorente and Struijk? Would you go with Llorente and Koch? Or would you go with all 3? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Of course, the main notable absentee for Aston Villa is the Jamaican international Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey, who has had a fine start to his Villa campaign, but he has been plagued with a lot of injuries. And I'm afraid to say this is not very detrimental at all to Aston Villa because of the fine form of Emiliano Buendia. Buendia himself bagging himself a goal against Everton last week round. Ironically enough, their new signing Luca Digne getting the assist against his former club. Luca Digne also, who is a massive addition to that Villa side, and someone who Leeds really need to be wary of because his ability from set pieces is second to none. His ability to put that ball in the danger area to an Ollie Watkins, that could really be our downfall because we've seen it so often this year. We are terrible at defending set pieces. We really are. I mean, corners especially, but those free kicks, even whipping it in from deep, even cracking shots off from deep. The last 2 goals we conceded came from Llorente fouling a man outside the box and then them scoring a cheeky free kick from the resultant free kick. It's an area that we've really struggled in, and we do have to really watch out for Luca Digne on Wednesday. And speaking, of course, of new signings, Felipe Coutinho. Who would have thunk it? Felipe Coutinho signing for the Villains on loan, of course, from Barcelona. But what a signing that is. He just offers that sprinkle of quality, that touch of class, and a touch of class which could really cut Leeds open. Again, we were talking about our vulnerability from set pieces. He is a man who earns a lot of set pieces with his dribbling ability. A lot of the time people have to take him down. He's just one of those nippy, agile players that earns his sides a lot of free kicks, and that is someone, again, that we really have to look out for because without Calvin Phillips, we have had no ability to track the midfield runners. I've said it before. I've said it year on year out. Ever since we've played this Bielsa style of football, there's been one detriment to our game every single time, and it is the deep runners from midfield. The players that can take on 2 or 3 players. Because we rely so heavily on the man-to-man marking system, once you can beat one of them, you start dragging all the other midfielders out of position. And the one counter we had to that was, of course, Calvin Phillips, who's just so smart. He knows exactly where to be right at the right moment, at the right time. In addition to his physical capabilities, it makes him perfect for that role. It makes him the only antidote to the deep-lying midfield runners. And with Felipe Coutinho coming up against us tomorrow and no Calvin Phillips, we have to be very wary of that. Despite all of that, I'm still very confident in a Leeds United win. Maybe it's because we haven't played for a couple of weeks, but I feel like the return of Forshaw is massive. It's going to give us too much confidence, too much assurance in the centre of the park. The one area which we have looked extremely vulnerable in the past few games. But if you look at that Newcastle game, for example, we still created a lot of chances. We still played with a lot of high tempo. It wasn't until they got that free kick goal that things started to look really bad for Leeds, and we looked like we could concede at any minute. Before then, we were actually playing some fine stuff. However, like I said, with Forshaw in the middle of the park and with a potential return for Gerrards up front, I'm feeling confident in a win. I feel like they will nick a goal. I feel like it'll be a very tight game. I feel like it'll be a very cagey affair for the first 45 minutes, and it will start to really blow into action in the second half. So for me, I'm going to go with 2-1 Leeds. I'm going to go with a Gerrards winner, and I'm going to go for a Jack Harrison opener. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who do you think's going to win? Who is your man on the match? I want to see it all in the comment section down below right now. But for now, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow live and sharp at 7:45. Au revoir, my brother.